Every living creature on this planet has an internal guidance system, something that alerts them that something is off in the environment that they find themselves in. For example, a hunter knows that a deer will take off running once it senses that something has changed in its environment. Why does a deer do that? Why does it just take off running? It does that because its internal guidance system or its instincts has alerted him that it's dangerous to remain there. So without second guessing himself, it just takes off running. We human beings are the only species that will triple guess, quadruple guess that instincts when we have a hunch about something. We just question it and question and try to verify and validate and look for others to try to validate all of our instincts. Why do we do that? I truly believe, I might be wrong, but I truly believe that we do that to try to fit in some type of social or cultural norms. I fall victim of this actually because I override my instincts so many times. One of the biggest moments I remember overriding my instincts was actually in 2018 when I was in a 4-car accident. I was alerted so many times. I had hunches and hunches and hunches. Some of them were even louder and louder and louder, but I refused to pay attention all the way up to actually getting in the accident. So the intention of this podcast is to just return us back to our primordial beings that trust their instincts. How do we begin to do that? We start by paying attention. When I got in my 4-car accident in 2018, I woke up the normal time I wake up in the morning, but this time I snoozed my alarm for about an hour. This is a record because I've never heard of someone say they snoozed their alarm for an hour, but I did that day. I snoozed my alarm for an hour, but the thing is, I give myself ample amount of time to actually still, mess around, whatever it is I have to do, and still make it early to work. But this day, nothing was happening. So at 5 a.m., I'm already late. I realized that, okay, I cannot achieve anything that I'm trying to achieve, all the lists and goals I have to achieve before I actually get to work at 6:30. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to take another 15 minutes of rest. Plus, my body just felt heavy. I couldn't lift myself out of the bed. All I could do was just hit my snooze button all morning. Eventually, now it's 6:30 when I actually have to be at work. I'm still in the bed. I haven't gotten up yet. So I eventually get up, I think, and I get dressed and I start driving like at 7:15 a.m. Still trying to make it to work. At 7:15 a.m., I got in my car and something was telling me, don't go this route, go the other route. And I'm questioning, why would I go the other route? I never go the other route. Plus, if I go the other route, I'm just going to be late for work. So I decided to go the same route. And then lo and behold, there is a chokehold going downhill on the freeway. There's nothing like that ever. Like if you are sitting in traffic going downhill, I don't know how to advise you. I would just say just pay attention because usually we know that when you're going downhill, the car just rolls. So there shouldn't be like traffic going downhill. But that day there was traffic going downhill. So I get to a complete stop and I look out my mirror and I'm saying to myself, Lord, this car is going to hit me because they haven't realized that the cars have stopped. We're now at a complete stop. And something in my mind was just telling me, merge out of this lane, merge out of this lane. And before I could even second, triple, and quadruple guess myself, the car ran into me. I get out of my car and I go in and talk to the guy and he's like, oh, the car behind him ran into him. And I look back and there are 2 other SUVs behind him and his car is actually totaled. I don't even know how he made it out alive. That was what happened that day. I did not pay attention. I didn't pay attention to all of the signs that led me to that moment. The second thing is to tell the truth. Tell the truth. Have integrity. Like, why did I really want to go to work that bad? Partly the reason is because I really don't know what to do on a weekday and when I'm supposed to be at work. I don't know what I'll be doing at home. What would I be doing? Nothing. What would I be doing? Nothing. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to still try to make it to work. So that was the truth. Had I just told myself that I just didn't know what to do and I could just try to figure out if there is something else I could do besides go to work that day, I could have avoided that accident, but people do believe in destiny. They believe that things happen for a reason, and that's fine. But I truly believe that you have to pay attention to your instincts as well, because you could shift that destiny. So you have to have integrity. Number one is to pay attention, be aware. Number two is to actually tell the truth and have integrity. Number three is be intentional. What was my intention for wanting to just go to work that day? Partly the intention was to prove that I am truly an overachiever. Now that I say it out loud, it just sounds ridiculous to me. Like, I almost died. I took like months and months to recover off of that accident just because I wanted to prove I was an overachiever. Got to have intention with things like that. You have to have some level of clarity. And that's what I learned. And that's why trusting your instincts is very important. I have heard stories and people have actually told me about, their ways of how they overrode their instincts. And, someone told me that, oh, they never should have trusted this friend, but they trusted them anyway. And the betrayal was even worse than what they trusted them to do. I'm like, sometimes you got to listen to your instincts. If your instincts is telling you not to trust someone, do not trust them, or just trust them with something very small, because you can't just negate people. But I'm curious, comment down below. What instincts have you overridden for yourself? Those are the type of instincts people override. They know they shouldn't have gone this way, but they did it anyway. And they've paid dearly. And look at the ramifications of it. They've wasted years. Like for me, I had to go to a chiropractor for months. Very, very draining. So what did we learn? We learned that we have to pay attention to our instincts. And how do we do that? By building a strength of character. And how do we build that strength of character? Is by one, paying attention to ourselves, right? And two, having integrity, telling ourselves the truth. And three, we have to be intentional, define our intentions clearly. So, and don't forget to comment down below, because I really do want to hear like what your stories are. I know that there's people with very strong stories as to why they do things, but I'm curious as to why you do things. So comment down below, let me know. I'll be reading everything and replying. So thank you guys again for joining me for this episode, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye.